Once again, here are the fruits of yesterday's labor. As you can see, some of this is held together like it's some medieval armor. But that was good for the budget to cut all these little pieces of what I had left rather than buy another sheet of wood. Today, hopefully 3 things. There's a beautiful piece of stained glass I'm going to try to put back in there. That'll be the last thing. Second, and most adventurous, will be to cut with snips my aluminum roofing and hang those with some, what do you call it, weather sealing strips. And first of all, make it waterproof from the inside with primer and caulk. Let's do that first. What the hell was that? Here's my tin roofing. I don't think it's really tin. It's definitely metal. I definitely need a 31 by 62 inch piece for my first wall. Doesn't look like I'm going to have enough to finish the whole thing, even with these 2 pieces. But I believe the way to do this, or at least the way I'm going to try, I'm going to mark it off. I'm going to use a straight edge. Use my work gloves, otherwise known as gardening gloves. I'm going to drag this over here. See what happens when I try to use some snips for the first time. Seen it done in a video. Alright, so just to give this a test run, I've drawn a line straight across here with my Sharpie. And I want a nice flat bottom piece. This has got some duct tape residue on it. Prefer not to have. And I just want to see what cutting this is all about. Seems like it's going to be hard. I believe the way to do it is to hold it from this side with your left hand and cut with your right. This will go down, this will be pulled up. Let's see what happens. And my gardening gloves for safety. It's not 95 degrees yet, but it soon will be. I have a feeling this is whole mission is ill-fated. But I got this for free. Let's give it a try. Looks like it would be cool to have this if you were able to cut it really easily for shower walls. God, it's super hard. Snips. Hoping that once I get going it'll get easier. It's not. Why is it easier to cut that way? What kind of sense does that make? That is hard. Go back down here again. Since that wasn't helping in any way, shape, or form. Alright, let's so hard. People have to do this every day. Isn't this the tool you're supposed to use to do it? So one guy just ripped this on. Of course, I think he went this way when he did that ripper. Try something else. Okay, I got goggles. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the gloves just for the heck of it. I'm gonna do a lot of angle grinding here. I don't think this is gonna work for some reason. Ow, my pinky hurts. Get on there. Ooh. This angle grinder has no safety guard, so we'll have to be wary of that, of course. Alright. Before I go in there and see how this fits, because I'm just winging it, gonna need a hole for the handle of the that turns the water on, and there's gonna need to be a hole at the bottom for the faucet, I guess you would call it, the tub faucet. So I just drew that on there kind of freehand, number 3 to number 8 on a little ruler. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be doing the best we can with what we got here. Alright, let's do it. Sure if you can see that. Mike's in the wrong direction. That's probably good news. So, what have we learned? Well, in order to tie this down to my one wall that's still this old crap, since this is waterproof around here, I decided, and I was fairly certain it was dry behind here, I decided to leave this on, although it does need to be taped up with some kind of nice tape, Flex Seal possibly, even though it's too expensive. Anyway, I'm moving ahead with the project. I got it up off the tub a little bit how I wanted it with my stick here. The only thing I really want to do is I was a little off the target with my diamond, so I'm going to redraw my diamond a little bit bigger and nicer. Cut that, bring it back in here, and see if it'll tie down with my roofing screws, which I think are self-drilling. We shall see. Well, we just had some lunch, but not before getting this guy up here. Those screws self-drilled in just the way they were supposed to. This didn't work entirely as according to plan, but that ought to do the trick for now. Not particularly worried about getting cut on it. This part was a little sharp. This part's a little sharp. I need to just take a file and file that down. No big deal. Let's see here. Gonna have to cut these on an angle. The tub is installed on an angle, so the water will run down, much like that was installed. Yep, nothing left to do but keep cutting and see if I've got enough, see how far I get. I suspect I will not be able to do this wall. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, maybe you can see by the light that it's been a long day. Very hot. Lots of snipping and angle grinding. I figured out how to snip better, although I still mostly snipped in this direction. And the trick was to have the orange handle on top and the black one on the bottom. Then it seemed to work better. That puts the blade on the side that you can see it cutting along your line, if that makes any sense. Anyway, it was the first piece went up the easiest, although I thought that would be the hardest because I had to cut holes in it. Oh wait, excuse me, door. What turned out to be tricky was that these things not only did have to be cut to fit where they need to go, but they need to sort of slot together. That started to turn into a problem really quickly once I turned the corner here. And so I made a decision to just use the dark side of this one because it fit there correctly. Turned into kind of a painting in that way, working with the mistakes. This actually was a mistake as well. I meant for that to be the gray side. I bought it in here. I realized, oh no, I want the flat parts on either one of these sides, you know, smushed against the wall. Oops. But you know, whatever. Another rustic part that came out is this little guy up here. That happened because when I was putting the first anchor screw in there, I hit one of my mending plates, and the screw slipped after it wouldn't go in. It sort of slipped up an inch and went in, and now I consider that part of the rustic charm. Fortunately, that made, if you look far enough back in there, that's 1, 2, 3 pieces of aluminum. You can still see a little hole. So I have a little piece of foam in there for the time being. Foam is rubber, waterproof. That was the whole idea of using it in the first place. So hopefully that'll hold up. I have some holes I need to patch up. If I can't come up with anything more clever, I'll get some white tape and just make diamonds. Have a little diamond theme going on. Let's see here. One more small mistake. This piece of metal, I'm going to take some acetone and see if that Sharpie will come off. Needed to be a little bit lower right here. I could see a hole. So I had to cut this little guy out and tie him down in there so the water rolls off. Got some foam in here. That might tie down a little bit tighter. I have a gap right here. Oh, this is, I could have easily have put another piece of aluminum over this, but I thought it looked good like this. So this is caulked up underneath here, no problems there. But this one part that sticks out, there's not too much that could be done about that. This caulk is doing very little to help the situation. So I'll be thinking about what to do about that. Yep, we're out of focus. Anyway, not too bad for a day's work. Oh, I didn't even mention the stained glass. Excuse me. I cleaned the windows. I took out the, what do you call it, the screen. So everything's been cleaned. The light's going to come through there. There's no screen. It's going to look so much prettier. I cut all of this molding, caulked it. This used to have a gap. It no longer has a gap. No spiders are going to, once I close this back in with plexiglass, no spiders will get in there. It'll be protected from being, oh yeah, here's something really cool I discovered. Boy, I did not want to mess this thing up. This is a beautiful piece of artwork. from '04. Nice work, Joe. I think that's what that said. Maybe just a J. Yeah, so this used to be where my plexiglass was attached. I'm going to fill in all of these holes. I'm going to sand that down and take this crud off. Make that a little bit nicer so it matches all of my new framing. And when I put the plexiglass in, it'll be farther back here. So there'll be a little shelf. Speaking of shelves, it's far stronger than it used to be, and it's a little angle so the water will roll off into the tub. Only thing I need to do is find another piece of aluminum roofing to finish the back here. And it'll be functional and pretty cool. Fix. Fix.